Good morning, friends. Sam here again with Harvey Cat Homestead. I am headed out to the rabbitry and I want to kind of explain to you guys some of the stuff that I've got going on out here. There's a lot of things up in the air, but that's okay. That's just the way of homesteading. Many things up in the air, many balls being juggled. So again, there are fans running. I'm not turning the fans off. That just deeply bothers me this time of year. Granted, it is early in the morning and it's not like horribly hot yet, but still, I just don't like it. So here are my bunnies. Yeah. So I've got, these are two little Creme d'Argent does. There are problems with each of them. These are Mango's babies. These are offspring of Mango and Calcifer. Calcifer's down here. Ooh, big stretch, buddy. Ain't you cute? So these guys, you see that one on the left has that one lopped ear. That is not ideal. You want a strong ear base. And then the one on the right, when her mother, this was her mother's first litter. I'm not so sure how well you can see, but her left ear has some damage in it. She's got like this chipped. Whoa, goodness. I know. Hey girls. Hey girls, they are friendly. I will say their personality is so fun. Part of me is almost tempted to try and breed Creme d'Argents just for pets, because they're so friendly. Except that one. She's not very friendly. All of my other kits are very, very friendly. She's even got a scar on her nose from somebody biting her through the cage. What are you doing? Are you gonna pee? Peeing for the camera? Yeah. Anyway, you can see the edge of her ear has that strange tilt to it. So she certainly is not, even if her body type was perfect, there's a good shot. Her mother bit through her ear when she was a tiny, tiny kid. So she's not ideal in terms of the show table. And then Ember over here, who's another Creme d'Argent, she is a senior doe. She is very long in the shoulder and thin through the loin, and the amount of problems that she has she has a beautiful coat. She might be a bit over silvered, but I'm getting ahead of myself. Let me explain to you the whole show situation here. Okay, I'm gonna pull one of these babies out and just show you a little bit about posing. So showing rabbits, I'm gonna get you, little girl, because you're friendlier. Showing rabbits requires that you have things just right. I'm not good at just right, not when it comes to bunnies. So you have to pose them properly in order to assess their body type. And these guys, they're so young, their adult fur is not in yet. So I can't judge them based on their fur. I can tell you, girl, it's okay. Did that fan the combination of me and the fan scared her. She has this bit of white silvering, these two little spots that are coming in unevenly. Ideally, everything would kind of come in at once. She also has a little forehead star, that little bit of white there. It's not exactly ideal. That is a disqualification at a show. Occasionally their silvering would kind of come in around that and it wouldn't be as big of a problem. But so these guys are old enough, they're starting to get their silvering. You can see on her feet and her belly, she has it in around the bottom part of her face. Ooh, she said, don't touch my face, sorry. So this is another thing, is like, if you want to show rabbits, you have to have them to where they are very comfortable being manhandled and maneuvered and scooched around. And mine just, Creme d'Argents don't like that anyway, I don't think. They're friendly, they're not mean, they've never bitten, but they're they're kind of like cats. They're like, don't touch me. No, don't do that. So you're constantly repositioning. You're constantly scooching. So I'm not good at posing rabbits. I don't really know what I'm doing in terms of posing. I've had so many people show me. I've watched videos on it. They say you're supposed to get their little feet under their eyes. You're supposed to hold them still here. And then their hips are supposed to be directly, their feet are supposed to, back feet directly under their hips. And you kind of got to scrunch them. So, and then you pull their tail where it's up like that. So I also just kind of feel guilty for manhandling everybody. So I'm just hesitant about doing it. But because I'm not good at posing, I'm not very good at assessing. So you have to be able, and plus the jargon in terms of understanding what is good and what is bad for each specific breed varies a lot. And the two breeds that I have are Creme de Argents, which is what this girl is. And then I've also got Silver Fox. So earlier this spring, we had an accident. We had her mother, Mango. She got frightened and she ran into the side of her cage or a nest box. I'm honestly not sure which. I didn't see it. I wasn't here. She broke her back. And so we had to, you're making me nervous, girl. Don't chew on that wire, please. Do not do that. Anyway, because of that, we had to, I'm just noticing her whiskers are all chewed off. Look at that. That's funny. Half of her face is like super short. You got a squishy face. You're a cute girl. She said, stop. I'll put you up. I know you don't like it. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. Here you go, baby. There you go. I know. You're so good. You're so good. You're so patient. What a sweet girl. She probably is. She's got one of the best temperaments of anybody in the rabbitry in terms of kits. But the trouble is, her body type, I can't tell quite yet. And you're also supposed to be able to pose them on their back so you can tell that their feet are parallel instead of V-shaped so they don't have pinched tips. Please don't take anything that I am saying as training in terms of posing a rabbit because I don't know. And that is why we're out here. And that is why I wanted to give you this update. So after losing Mango and learning that Ember has just really bad, really unhealthy, not unhealthy, she's a healthy rabbit, but in terms of breed standards, she's out of whack. She's not an ideal specimen. And in terms of getting her, like the only thing that she has going for her is her fur. That is it. So if you're looking for Creme de Argents and you want to get into, well, I guess any breed, please build a relationship with a breeder that knows what they are doing and work on, like, get in a mentorship program, that kind of thing. Follow someone, understand what the terms mean. It's not a quick process. It's a bit complex. I did not do that, which, as long as I'm not showing, that's fine. If you're just doing backyard meat rabbits, that's okay. There's not any harm in my silver foxes. They're excellent. But yeah, so basically what I'm saying is we are going to get out of Creme de Argents. We are no longer going to breed them. I'm trying to find a good home for Calcifer because honestly, he would be a great addition to someone's breeding program. Because he's actually got a really nice type. He's a really pretty boy. So let me grab him for you. Let's see. All right, buddy. I know you're busy giving yourself a bath, huh? Hey, bud. Oh, sweet big boy. Oh, you so covered in pee. Don't back up into the fan, buddy. So he's a buck, which means he's all the time peeing all over himself. I did actually, he had fur that was matted and stuff. I trimmed him up pretty well. He's also starting to molt, which is why he's got these funny little spots at the back of his neck. He's acting like he's terrified. He's a good boy, aren't you, buddy? Yeah, you're beautiful. He's a gorgeous buck. So let me see if I can't pose him up for you. Get you positioned right here. Get your little feet under your eyes. That's another thing, is if they're scared, it's going to be a lot harder to pose them because they're constantly going to be like balling up. And he's larger, so you may not be able to see him quite as well. Let me get your feet up under. You're fine. You're fine. See, this is a really good example of why I'm not cut out to do this, because I don't want to fight him. I feel bad fighting him. I want him to be happy. So, yeah, he's a good boy. He really is a very good boy. He's got a pretty coat. He's got a nice fat blocky head. He would make a great breeder for somebody. But I'm having a hard time. I think unless you're in the show space, you're not really looking for Creme d'Argents, honestly. Because they're another reason I've decided to move on from doing creams is because their growth rate is like half that of my silver foxes. And our goal, we're a homestead. Our goal is meat production. We got into these because their coat is beautiful. And I do harvest their pelts as well. Like if I have time and if the season is right, I do actually age them out to the point where their skin is thick enough to be processed into leather. I will not be processing him. Even if we cannot rehome him and find a good breeding program for him to be a part of, he's still a good breeder. He still does a very, very good job. But I believe we would do crossbreeds. I don't think I'm going to do straight creams unless I just want more orange cream pelts. So, and that's a frustrating thing because I'm trying to learn how to sew. I'm so scared to cut into these pelts that I've harvested so far. I'll show you some of those. I've got some I can plop up here. They're really beautiful and they're very soft. Most of what I've gotten so far have been silver fox. I think I might have some crossbreeds. Whenever I was breeding Ember, and honestly, this guy, I tested them out via crossbreeding them with my silver fox, and I noticed the growth rate on those guys was a little slow, but nothing compared to just the straight Creme d'Argent. So I would say if you're in it for meat production and not necessarily showing, I would not recommend a Creme d'Argent. I love my silver fox. They do excellent. They do excellent, but little creams here, they have fun personalities. I know I've told you that, but like they're curious. This guy's probably one of my more skittish bunnies that's a cream, but he's still a good boy. He's a teenager though still. Like he is all worried about the girls. That is all he cares about. Anyway, so if you're interested in taking Calcifer home with you, we are in Central North Carolina. I am more than happy to transport at least within a couple of hours. But comment, send me a personal message. We are on Facebook as well if you'd like to connect with us there. And we are just under Harvey Cat Homestead. We're pretty easy to get a hold of. So if you're interested in this fella, please let me know. I'm more than happy to send more photos and we can do a video chat, a video call, whatever you need. But it would be really wonderful to be able to find him a home in a barn that would actually really be using him to his full potential. So anyway, so that's where we're at with Creme d'Argents. As I said, I will absolutely be keeping Ember. You see her hopping around in the back. She's so silly. She's a drama queen. I love that about her, though. She's got all of the personality. So this guy, yeah, let me know if you're interested. And we'll kind of move on to Silver Fox. I'm going to put him up and we'll talk about our Silver Fox program. All right, guys, this is Bonnie. She is a full-bred Silver Fox bunny. She's blue. So she's like a little over 2 years old. But she's a sweet girl. She's a good mom. Oh, baby. It's okay. Look, I love her dewlap. You see how massive her dewlap is? You're so dramatic, girl. What is on your head? What is on your head? You got something stuck to you. You got plant gunk on you. You all right? I mean, you can see. I don't know why she's so skittish. She's not typically this skittish. But you can see how thick she is. Like, she is a good weight. She is a great mom. That's okay. So that's the biggest thing for me as a meat producer. I'm looking for nice, thick bodies and sturdiness and heat tolerance because we are in central North Carolina. I've got fans going. They're in the shade. I can link you to a video about how I keep them cool. I bring ice out to them, but they're great. This specific breed is great. You could also do something like a Florida White, or you could do New Zealand is very common in terms of meat production. But so those are the things I'm looking for. I'm looking for good mothering skills and good kindling. And kindling is when a rabbit gives birth. That's just the technical term for it. So I have tried to hold back like a few of her offspring. We did just lose one to the heat not that long ago. I was hoping that her kindling would be kind of in line with her mom's, because with Bonnie there's no problems. With Ember there's no problems at all ever. So my other two I've had problems with. Mango, she did pretty well. She had a couple on the wire, which means, so the box that you see in her cage here, that's a nest box. So these I have built. I used the plans from Tealstone Homestead. I can try to link those in the bottom as well. But so that is a requirement if you are breeding, that each mom needs a box. So when I say a baby is born on the wire, what I mean is they're born on the cage wire instead of inside of the box. And that is the reason for this additional this is called baby saver wire. It's 1/2 inch by 1 inch. That's what the floor of all my cages is, and like this little strip around the edges, because if you just had regular 1 by 1, a baby is small enough they can actually fall through that. So we want to avoid that, obviously. So a lot of times when they're born on the wire, they don't make it. Inside of those boxes, they will build a nest. They will pull fur off of them. Like they will literally, like, you'll see them kind of like biting and pulling. This little one here, she likes to strip a complete naked spot behind her armpit. It's so funny. But she builds beautiful nests. And she has this thing, when she wants to be bred, she just builds nests. She builds nests like crazy. Like, I always give them access to hay, and she will just be pulling it out of her hay feeder and continually like building a little nest in the corner of her cage. Some bunnies are not good at building nests. So I'm never getting rid of Bonnie. She is my best mom. She's amazing. She's sweet. She's got a good temperament. She's chill. She's easy to handle. She's never bitten me. She has, every rabbit will try to get out of your arms. They're not a huge fan of being held, which is fine. I don't want to hold them. I don't want to make them uncomfortable. I want them to be happy, which, let me go ahead and tell you right now, the other thing about keeping them happy is keeping them healthy. I know a lot of people see this cage and are like, why would you torture your animal and have them in a cage like that? There are people that do colony settings, which is an enclosure on the ground. It is still an enclosure. You still often have to have, even on the soil, even underneath the soil, you typically have to have some kind of wire because they will dig out. But I'm in so many rabbit breeding groups on Facebook. You would not believe the number of people who are like, what is wrong with my rabbit? Why is there this hole in my rabbit? Why is this fur coming off? Why is my rabbit dying and I have no idea? 80% of those posts are from people, and I haven't sat and done the numbers. This is damn statistics, right? This is just a guess from what I've seen. The majority of those people posting those things have their rabbits on the ground. It is also much more difficult to control breeding. You have babies kind of being born all over the place. With this system, I can pick that nest box up and bring it outside, and I've got videos showing you that as well. I can bring it outside of the cage and check everyone and make sure that everyone is healthy people will get horrible things like fire ants in their nests in the ground for colony settings. I know it doesn't look nice. I know it looks like it would be uncomfortable, but it's safer and it's healthier for them. And they have these little plastic rests here so that they don't always have to be directly on the wire. They've always got something to chew. They've always got hay. They've got air circulation. I've given them, and I bring them fresh greens all the time and new sticks all the time. I'm actually getting ready to prune up my mulberry. I can show you guys my process with that too. But these guys, they're very happy in this setting. So please don't misunderstand the cage versus colony setting. I understand the desire to create a space for an animal that is as close to what it would naturally be experiencing as possible. I support that, but beyond that, I support caring for my animals well and making sure that they're not dealing with pests and diseases and all kinds of things that are beyond my control. That really deeply bothers me, to be honest, that people would be, that seems to me like cruelty. If you have a colony setting and you don't experience that, that's fine, that's great. It may be a climate specific thing. Here in my climate, I have wild rabbits, I have coccidiosis on the ground, I have all kinds of yucky pests. We deal with bot flies. Bot flies are disgusting. They literally like lay their eggs in, like they sting the rabbit and they lay their egg. And so you have like this maggot living inside of this sore on your rabbit, and it's really gross. Anyway, I can't remember if it's a mosquito, if it's like a pest on a mosquito and then the mosquito bites you and then you have the bot fly. I think there's actually different varieties in different parts of the world. But anyway, the closer to the ground they are, the more likely that is to happen. But having having fans on them helps prevent that as well. But I just like to keep things simple. If I can prevent something from going wrong, that's what I want to do. So that is why I choose the cage situation instead of doing colony. That's not what this video is. This video is more about why I'm getting out of creams and sticking with silver fox. Anyway, another thing is the growth rates. I don't have the best one-to-one comparison right now, but I can show you our babies. So let's close up Bonnie's little cage here and leave her be because she clearly didn't want to be fooled with. And we'll take you over to the area with the kits. Okay, so these are Ember's kits. They are 12 weeks old. And for a 12-week-old rabbit, they're tiny. They're like maybe 2 pounds, which is insane. My silver fox kits at 12 weeks are 5 to 6 pounds and up. I have had them larger than that, but these guys, their growth rates are just so slow. They will get to that weight, but if you're focusing just on production for meat, your input in terms of what you're gonna have to spend on food and care and just your time and energy, I can't see that it's worth it for me personally. Now, granted, these guys are super cute and super silly and super fun and beautiful. I love their coats and I love their personalities. You guys are really pretty and they're so curious. See, I mean, they're all right at me like, hey, do you have something for us? Do you have treats? Yeah, you pretty girls. Are you excited back there? Gosh, I know. They're good babies. But every single one of these babies is long in the shoulder, which means the area from their front foot to literally their shoulder is way too long in comparison to the rest of their body, which is something that Ember, their mother, deals with. Which, if you're just breeding for meat production, that's fine. Maybe you really like doing the rabbit wing style meal where you just use their front legs and you make them into wings, like in the air fryer. I love that recipe. I think that's phenomenal. I certainly don't have a problem with these guys having front legs. But if I were going to show them which is what the investment, sorry, these guys are chewing on wood. That's what the investment really is about, is showing them. Obviously, then your goals would be different for breeding. And my goal initially was to get into showing. I don't have the time. The little bucks over there are going crazy. They see me and they're like, oh my gosh, are you going to bring us treats? I know, my goodness. They are super cute. It's hard to not just be like, oh my gosh, I want to keep them because they're cute. If you have that struggle, please do not start breeding rabbits, because you will do nothing but have more and more pets. So that's a whole other conversation in terms of actually being able to harvest your animals, because we are a homestead. I've said that many times. Our goal is meat production with these guys. I'm happy to sell as pets. I am happy to sell as breeders. I don't want to sell somebody poor quality stock. So that being said, I don't think that the Creme d'Argents are right for us right now. If I had more time and I could show and I could take the time to learn exactly what all of the jargon and, you know, better ways to pose my rabbits and better ways to evaluate, I think with that, the best thing you can do is just see example after example after example. And one of my bucks was trying to climb the wire over there and he just fell. When I say bucks, I separate the does, which are over here, from the bucks at like 8 weeks, because I harvested a 16-week-old a couple months back and I had not separated because there were only 4 in the litter and she was the only female. And I didn't want to have just one bunny in a cage by herself. So she was about to kindle whenever I harvested her. That was a very interesting experience in terms of getting just the harvesting process. But it's kind of cool, but also kind of cruel at the same time. So, you know, I don't want to be cruel to my animals. I want them to be happy. I want them to have a great life, albeit short. That's the way of things. So, because these guys have such slow grow rates, I really don't think that they're right for us, but that's okay. They may be right for somebody else. And honestly, if you're interested in any of these guys, I'm more than happy to share them. At this point, I'm happy to share them for below what I would typically sell a rabbit for. But, you know, I don't want them to be abused. I do want them to go to good homes if they are going to move on to another home. It's either they're going to end very quickly with me or they will get spoiled somewhere. That's my goal. So let me show you these goofy bucks because they're just so hilarious. And then I'm probably going to go ahead and sign off. What are you doing? See, they're so dramatic. It's just so silly. They're so silly. All right, these are my bucks. They're in this enclosure. I've actually got the bucks from both Ember's litter and Mango's litter. Mango's litter is actually 2 weeks younger, but at this point I'm having a hard time telling them apart, which I did that to myself because I knew I was not going to hold back any of these bucks. And I was like, you know what? If they're going to get along staying together, then they can be together. That's fine. Let me warn you. I have tried to put litters together like this in the past where there was a little bit of a gap. And fur flew instantly. Rabbits are very territorial. At least they can be. What are you doing, goober? So these guys, there's like 7 in this enclosure, which is too many. This is too many for this size enclosure. I have a new space that 3 or 4 of them will be moving to. Honestly, I'm hesitating because of the temperature. It's very hot here. I don't have the best way to keep them cool and also moving in the other style of enclosure that I have. So I've been hesitant because of that, but they're going to start getting territorial and violent with one another because of the size that they are in here. And that's just not acceptable. I'm not cool with allowing my animals to do that. So they will be moving either today or tomorrow. Bucks especially, like, they're really smelly. They pee all over each other. And it's just a territory thing, you know, they're marking what's theirs, but they're so fun. They're so fun. And I love watching their silvering come in. I think it's just so cool to see the variations in how things happen. But yeah, these guys are itching because we have mosquito issues. Like, that's part of the problem with it being in the shade all the time, is that, you know, the mosquitoes like the shade too. But here's a bit of a closer up view of these babies. The little babies. Oh, he flopped. He's so doggone cute. All right, so these are my creams. And I don't typically have this many at one time. Usually I have more silver fox. The last 2 silver fox litter obviously didn't go well. So I've got another video about that too. I can link if you guys are curious. So anyway, that's the creams. And clearly I have plenty. If someone's interested, I'm more than happy to share. But I understand if you're not interested, because honestly at this point I'm not terribly interested. And just trying to be reasonable in terms of our goals as a homestead, because they're fun. They're fun. They have so much personality. Like, I love my silver fox, but they're so chill and docile, whereas creams are like kooky and crazy and fun and constantly hopping around and slinging their heads, and they're little dramatic guys, which is really fun for me. I really love that. So it's give and take. It's pros and cons. If you're happier waiting for a larger harvest in terms of meat and you really like their personality, then go for it. Or if your goal is pelt production instead, I'd highly recommend these guys because their pelts are gorgeous. But yeah, that's the outside rabbitry. I have one more little goofball to show you, and we'll head inside for that. All right, I have to start off by showing you the floop. What are you doing, buddy? He's so comfy in here, he regularly flops on his side, which is the cutest thing. The little bunny flop is so cute. So this little fella, he is 2 weeks old, and he's coming inside because it's dangerously hot during the day. The high today is 95, which is why he has this little lovely setup on our kitchen table. But everybody's skin is so dry. I promise they don't have fleas. Like, I do use topical ivermectin to treat, to prevent any kind of parasitic problem. But anyway, there's that guy. So that being said, this guy being 2 weeks, even with the heat, he's still a nice little chunk for 2 weeks. Aren't you, buddy? He's got a nice little square head too. He's a party boy, and he's so chill. It's because we've been bringing him inside all day, every day. His poor little mom, I left him out there yesterday because it rained the entire day because we had a tropical storm come through. The high was 77. It was great. So he stayed outside all day yesterday, and that was the first day since we had that terrible loss in the rabbitry that he's actually been able to be outside and actually act like a bunny all day. So anyway, they're just so fun. They're just so fun. I would highly recommend anybody. So the reason I didn't start with chickens in terms of like a homestead animal, starter animal, was because I have an egg allergy and I don't want to have to buy a plucker. Also, my husband works for Pilgrims, which is like a huge chicken production. The plant that he works for specifically does organic birds. So it just makes way more sense for us to purchase that. We've also got family that have pet chickens that are happy to share eggs. So it didn't make any sense at all for us to do chickens. But these guys are very, very easy in terms of harvesting. So you don't need any special equipment. It's so easy. And the turnaround is ideally very quick if you have the right breed, like 12 weeks. 12 weeks is the perfect turnaround. So, or if you want to do pelts 16 weeks, that's a nice balanced timeline for like between 6 and 10 kits, which a kit is a baby bunny. 6 and 10 per round, per litter. Sorry, you can hear Harvey meowing. I'm gonna put you down. I'm gonna let Harvey out. I don't trust her. I just came in from outside. I don't trust her with this bunny in here. So she's been in her bedroom. Harvey cat, are you so upset? Yeah, Harvey cat didn't like that. Anyway, so that's what we have going on with the rabbits. That is why we are getting out of creams. Do you want some attention, Harvey? Oh, baby kitty. She chunk. Yeah, I know. You see that bunny. You're like, oh, let me get it. Probably not very wise. Look at the camera. Aren't you pretty? Aren't you pretty, Harvey? Yeah, this is a bad idea. She wants that bunny. She would be a murderer if I let her outside. Anyway, that's the fun stuff we have going on at Harvey Cat Homestead. If you've got questions about creams, if you've got questions about silver fox, don't hesitate to, I'm happy to have a discussion. It's not like this is bad. This isn't meeting the goals for our specific rabbitry, and that's okay. Did you pee? He peed. I gotta change out his towel. Messy boy. Anyway, so this is the fun stuff. The babies are always fun. They're not babies for long. So anyway, this has been Sam. Thank you for stopping by and hanging out with me and chatting with me about our bunnies. And yeah, again, please don't hesitate to let me know if you've got questions or comments or curiosities. So, appreciate you guys hanging out. I hope you have an absolutely beautiful day. Again, my name is Sam, and I really appreciate you. All right, goodbye, friends.